Hey everyone, out of the FA Cup, we couldn't retain our FA Cup or defend the FA Cup trophy, and now we only have the Europa League to play for. It wasn't the best game. Once again, another disappointment, a loss, crashing out of the FA Cup at penalties, with penalties, no matter how you want to look at it or say it. It's sad, it's difficult, it's disappointing, it's depressing, What, what do we even want to talk about. The players haven't been what we thought they would be. There hasn't been any improvements in terms of individual players and in terms of the team as a whole. But I'm not going to be putting any blame on Amarim until he has his own players. It's one of the weirdest performances that I've seen this season so far. With how, let's be clear, what is actually going on, because we're not playing the ball out from the back. When we play long balls, we're not winning the second ball. We're not winning the first ball from the long ball. When we try to play on the counter, we are too quick to pull the trigger, and the likes of Bruno and Casemiro, them all clear the ball over the defensive lines, and nobody's running onto the ball. The few players that I think had a good performance, of course, Bruno, because he got the equalizer. Xerxes had a on and off performance, but did quite a few good things. Ugarte, I expected more, but he was okay, solid enough. De Ligt, again, could be man of the match as well, with how solid he was in defense. Maguire thought that he had a good game, but that's on a personal level. Onana might think that he had a good game, keeping the game at 1-1 for the entire 90 minutes plus extra time before we went to penalties. But he didn't save one penalty. He didn't even predict the right side, at least, to show that he did go the right side, but just couldn't make the save because the penalty was too good. The goal that we conceded, again, another set piece goal to concede. It's the same things, it's the same problems, it's the same mistakes, the same issues, the same errors. They say it could be Groundhog Day because whenever United plays at home, the same mistakes happen, the same fragile mentalities and lack of confidence that happens in the game is there for all to see. And yes, Amarim should have made changes, but what's the point? He brought Garnacho on, who again, decision making is not so good. Shooting when he's not supposed to shoot. He's supposed to be slipping in his teammates by passing them the ball in the final third. He fails to do that. When he does get to cross the ball after beating his man, the crosses are not accurate enough. He doesn't look up to find the teammate, just smashes it into the area. So many issues, and Amarim has his work cut out for him. And things need to change. Let's be real. We can't keep losing like this. The Europa League is our only real chance of actually having a somewhat successful season. But that's only if we win it. But even though Real Sociedad lost 4-0 to Barcelona over the weekend, it doesn't mean that they're going to be weak towards us. They're going to turn up, they're going to be much better than what they were against Barcelona, and they are probably better than us if you talk about teams and how they play and that. But again, it's away from home, and how do we even approach that game? Yes, Patrick Dorgu will be back. It came out that Chida Obi Martin wasn't registered for the second half of the Europa League campaign, obviously being the knockout rounds. So he is not able to play in European competition for Manchester United this season, at least, which is a blow, but also a good thing because we shouldn't rush his development. When he came on, for the 60 minutes plus that he played, he did much more than Rasmus Højlund. He created 3 big chances for himself. Probably should have had a penalty without Calvin Bassey was pulling him before he managed to get his shot, even though it went wide. There was a very good chance that he had when he opened up his body and played it, in towards the goal. But again, a save was made by Bernd Leno, and that could have gone in and probably won the game because it was 1-1 at the time. But his intelligence to find the space, his intelligence and know how to be able to create a chance for himself was very, very impressive to see. He won quite a few duels as well in the air and on the ground. And there was a moment where Bruno slipped him in, deceptively, but he wasn't ready for it because he doesn't play with those type of top level players like a Bruno Fernandes. And the more he plays with him, the more he will get used to him. But it was very, very promising to see what Chida Obi Martin had and brought to the team for us, because when he came on, likewise with Aiden Heaven, was very, very comfortable, composed, at the back in defense, didn't look out of place. Looked like he played at the top level for quite a while. Should get some more minutes. But when the two of them came on, we seemed to be much better. But again, we didn't show enough impetus and energy and drive and determination to go and win the game. And we did create big chances, but we just didn't manage to put them away. What is Hoyland doing? I certainly get more and more frustrated when I watch him because he doesn't do anything. He's not winning duels. He's not running in behind. He doesn't win the ball in the air when the ball is launched up to him. He doesn't hold the ball up quite well. He's not in good positions when we are trying to attack or when he is in the box. He doesn't create space for himself. He doesn't create chances for himself. There is so much development that Rasmus Hoyland needs to go into, and you look at what Chida Obi Martin brought to the table. He's miles ahead of Rasmus Hoyland right now in terms of development and where Hoyland is supposed to be. But what can Amorim do? These are the players that he has at his disposal, and with so many injuries, we definitely are not as strong as Amorim would want us to be. And that is why we find ourselves losing so many games, dropping so many points, and being kicked out of competitions. Carabao Cup earlier in the season, and now, most recently, the FA Cup. The same could happen in the Europa League. What if we lose to Real Sociedad in both legs? What if we lose in the next round? It's not a guarantee that we will get to the final. It seems far-fetched, but that has to be what the players and Amorim strives for now. Winning the Europa League is our only chance of getting a place in Europe next season in the Champions League. We have to try and win it. We have to put all our eggs into that basket because the Premier League, there's nothing to play for there other than finishing as high as possible. That's all there is. We're not getting in the top four. We're going to struggle to get into the top half by the end of the season. And the Europa League, as I said, remains our only realistic chance of getting into Europe, but also being a somewhat successful season, as I said earlier. Let me know what you think of Man United right now in the comments, what you thought of the performance against Fulham, and what you think we might can and will expect for the Real Sociedad game when I do the preview. Drop a like. Have a wonderful day further, Red Devils. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. Till we see each other again soon. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching. If you want more content on Manchester United, like, share and subscribe.